Harvard researchers recently published a report confirming a significant shift in the tech landscape. A technology capable of redefining modern computing is arriving 5 to 10 years ahead of schedule, which brings up the question most people are too embarrassed to ask. What actually makes a quantum computer different from the laptop sitting on your desk? Imagine you have a massive maze, and you need to find the exit. A regular computer acts like a single person walking through that maze. They walk down one corridor, hit a dead end, walk back, and try the next path, one route at a time. Now imagine you cloned that person 10,000 times and sent them down every single corridor at the exact same moment. They find the exit instantly because they are exploring every possible path at once. That is how a quantum computer processes information. This happens because of superposition. A regular computer uses bits, ones and zeros, like a coin lying flat on a table, showing either heads or tails. A quantum computer uses qubits, which act like a coin spinning in the air. Until stopped, it represents both heads and tails simultaneously. While this atomic-level behavior sounds strange, it is a documented part of our physical world. We have learned to harness that behavior to run calculations that were once physically impossible for any machine to finish. Most experts predicted we wouldn't see large-scale quantum computers until the late 2030s. Now that timeline has shifted to the late 2020s. The delay was caused by error rates. Qubits are incredibly fragile. A minor vibration or a tiny shift in temperature causes them to lose their state, creating errors that multiply until the calculation becomes useless. Building a quantum computer has been like trying to stack soap bubbles. Usually, the more bubbles you add to the pile, the higher the chance one of them pops and brings the whole thing down. But Harvard researchers found a way to arrange these bubbles so they actually protect each other. In this new configuration, adding more qubits makes the whole system more stable, effectively canceling out errors before they can spread. Google demonstrated the result of this stability when their new Willow chip ran a specific algorithm 13,000 times faster than the most powerful classical supercomputer on Earth. Independent verification of these results marks the transition from lab theory to functional hardware. We are seeing the jump from computers with dozens of qubits to architectures designed for millions. Raw speed is only half the story. Recently, researchers used a quantum computer to simulate an enzyme containing 12,000 atoms. This targets the primary bottleneck in modern medicine, testing how new drugs bind to human proteins. Regular supercomputers struggle to model these interactions accurately. Modeling biological mechanics on a classical computer is like trying to type an English novel on a Russian typewriter. You can try to approximate the letters, but the system isn't designed for the language. Quantum computers, however, natively speak the mathematical language of nature. On the right, you can see how they model exact atomic reality, rather than the blocky approximations shown on the left. A simulation of this size proves that these systems can handle real-world biological structures. This has led to a surge in investment from pharmaceutical companies looking to move drug discovery out of the lab and into the computer. By the early 2030s, this capability will allow researchers to design specific medicines by modeling exactly how they interact with the body at an atomic level. But this jump in processing power creates a significant security risk. Governments are currently preparing for a deadline known as Q-Day. Q-Day is the point when a quantum computer becomes powerful enough to break the encryption that secures the global internet, including military communications, banking, and personal passwords. If a regular supercomputer tried to guess a standard 2048-bit encryption key, it would take longer than the age of the universe. A quantum computer can solve those same mathematical equations in a matter of hours. This has led to an immediate threat called harvest now, decrypt later. Some groups are currently intercepting and storing vast amounts of encrypted data. They cannot read it yet, but they are waiting for the day they have a machine that can solve the math and reveal the contents. Q-Day is an active cybersecurity crisis. It has forced a multi-billion-dollar race to upgrade the world's digital infrastructure with new math that even a quantum computer cannot solve. This shift doesn't mean we have to replace every existing computer. Companies like NVIDIA are developing hybrid systems. Traditional chips will continue to handle bulk data, while the most complex physical problems are routed to a quantum processor. This setup leads to a powerful combination: quantum-enhanced artificial intelligence. Currently, AI data centers use roughly 10% of the US electrical grid. Classical chips move billions of electrons through tiny wires, which creates significant heat and requires massive amounts of power as the AI grows. A quantum computer is different because it processes information by manipulating the energy states of individual atoms rather than moving large currents of electrons. Even after accounting for the power needed to keep the processor cold, the efficiency per calculation is high enough to sustain AI growth without overtaxing the power grid. Quantum computing is no longer a distant possibility. With hardware scaling up, biological simulations proven, and security updates underway, it will redefine the limits of technology